Thanks for stopping by to learn a little bit more about Bloomington's Flexible Learning Cohort. Oftentimes you might hear us call it for short the Flex Cohort. My name is Holly Skadsum and I'm the Digital Learning Coordinator for Early Childhood through Grade 5 and I'm one of the facilitators of this cohort. Karen Qualley is the Digital Learning Coordinator for Grades 6 through Adult and she's also a co-facilitator of this cohort. So sort of the history of all of this in Bloomington, the flipped cohort came about in 2011, and when Andy Bedeau and Sean Beaverson were here, a lot of teachers joined that cohort and focused on flipping their instruction. When Karen and I came along last year, we changed the cohort to the flexible learning cohort, which really just allows cohort members to be a lot more flexible in the models that they choose to implement in their classroom. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So what is the Flexible Learning Cohort? What's it all about? So our members start the year learning about some different models of instruction: station rotation, flipped, and flex, which is often considered mastery-based, and then they choose a model that they want to implement in their classroom. We're very flexible on what we have members choose, so we don't say you have to exist in one of these circles. We often have people that create models of instruction that exist between circles or mesh some circles, so we're very flexible with the types of models that we help people implement. Members in the cohort spend time creating digital content. All of the content that members create is standards aligned. We work with members of the Curriculum and Instruction Department to make sure that what we're creating aligns with the curriculum review processes. Ultimately, members of the cohort are working towards providing students control over some or all of these variables. So helping students choose or giving them options to choose when they learn, where they learn, at what pace they learn, and at what path they take to get to that learning objective. Currently, we have 100 members in the cohort spanning from grade 1 all the way up to adult. This is a breakdown by elementary, so it shows you how many members from each elementary school and from what grades. Here's our secondary representation. Often people say that the flex cohort's just for math and science. You can see though that we have different subject areas spanning all the way from orchestra to language arts to world language to business to social studies. So we have all sorts of teachers in the cohort. Looking into next year, we are creating a K2 or an early childhood through grade 2 strand within the cohort. So we're trying to really group together teachers using iPads. So next year we're looking at recruiting a lot more from the elementary levels, early childhood through grade 2. The next couple of slides are just opportunities for you to reach out to some of the people in our cohort and learn about why they're in it and what they're saying about their membership in the cohort. You could pause the video and read a couple of the quotes on this page. Here's also a shortened URL. If you're in the Chrome browser, you can type that shortened URL in and head out to our YouTube playlist, which has videos of us capturing teachers and students who have benefited from the cohort. And it has a lot of student quotes and teacher quotes about what they're doing and what they most enjoy about being in the cohort. So if you join the cohort, what would be some of the learning objectives of that cohort? So first and foremost, we would have you research and select a model to implement in your classroom. We have our members self-assess where they are on the journey of digital content. So some of our members come in with no digital content, some come in with a large amount. So we have you kind of identify that, and we use that information to help you choose a model to implement in your classroom. Throughout the year, we're helping you build your digital content proficiency. So we're helping you gather content, create content, and find the best way to store your content for student use. Again, we're having you establish strategies, routines, and procedures to allow your students some control over one or all of these variables. And most of all, we love to provide opportunities for you to share and grow with other members in the cohort. Just a couple cohort FYIs. Each year, we really gather feedback from our members and change things based on the feedback they give us. So first, after you've been in the cohort for over a year, we don't require any face-to-face meetings. We give you a lot of control over your learning and the time and place and path in which you do that. So I'll share some of those diverse options for release days in a moment, but something to know is that as you progress in the cohort, you do not need to come in or be out of your classroom multiple times. We are kicking off this year, this spring, a flexible learning summit, allowing teachers to share their experiences with other teachers. So our first annual Bloomington Flexible Learning Summit will be June 14th, 2017. We would invite anybody from Bloomington to come and check out what members in our cohort are doing. And we plan to run this same summit year after year. Another piece of feedback we got from cohort members was, don't bring us out of our classrooms to learn about something we could learn online. So this year we gave our cohort members new opportunities for learning. Some of that learning might take place online. Any of the learning that does take place outside of contract hours is paid for teachers. I talked about diverse release day options. We really want you, if you're going to be out of your classroom, to have some options for what you're going to do that best fits your needs. So often we have cohort members choosing between a writing day with their team, so taking a release day with other members of their team to accomplish some goals. We often have members go out and view other people's classrooms to see what they're doing. We do offer face-to-face learning for those that want to come in and learn specific things. We host cohort strand days. So looking at our roster, you can see, especially here, that 5 shows up a lot. We have a lot of 5th grade teachers in the cohort. So we pull those teachers all together on different days throughout the year as a strand of the cohort to get some work done. Work smarter, not harder, so they're really collaborating and creating things together. So overall expectations, what is required if you would like to be an active member of the cohort? Really, it's these 5 things. So when you join, we ask you to join with someone from your team. We believe that a lot more gets done when you have someone to rely on and work with. We ask that you do use your release time and writing time. That could be taking a day out of your classroom, or that could be doing some work outside of contract time, which is paid. We may ask you to do some online learning. We'll ask you to attend or pitch in some way for our annual BPS Flex Summit. And we ask that you work towards the goal of giving students control over the time, place, path, and pace of their learning. If you have any questions or want to know more about the Flexible Learning Cohort, please reach out to myself or Karen. You can also check out our FAQ that we've started. Some teachers that have asked us some questions, we've placed those on an FAQ, and you can get to it at this shortened URL link if you are in Chrome. Please let us know what you need or what questions you have. We're excited to hopefully recruit you as a new member.